Twilight Syndrome. I've previously taken you through the first two games in the series, the Twilight Syndrome duology. At the end of the second game, we learn that the trio's series of adventures have been partially orchestrated by some kind of entity, why they were brought here, and why Mika, the airhead of the trio, is the only one that remembers their old world and their past lives. Well, I suppose we'll have to dive in to find out. So sit back and relax and let me, for probably the first time in English, take you on a journey through Moonlight Syndrome. Mika calls Yukari and asks if she's up to something tomorrow night, but she isn't. So Mika asks if she wants to come with her to the techno club, the Lost Highway, because there is an event going on. Yukari says that she's not really into techno and that she can't stop thinking about what happened the other night, but Mika says that dancing is the best medicine and that it will be fun. Yukari, like she always does, gives up resisting and says that she will come, as long as Mika promises that she won't get annoyed if Yukari gets bored and decides to go home, to which Mika of course agrees. At the club, Mika asks why Yukari doesn't like the club, and she says that it's because she gets embarrassed while she's dancing, because she feels like people are watching her. Mika responds that sucks and that it's great to just let loose. Yukari asks what the hell is up with the repetitive music, and Mika says that she'll get used to it and that it will grow on her. After having a drink and talking about a creepy guy at school that apparently visits brothels regularly, the two of them head downstairs to the main stage. They start dancing, and after a while, Yukari excuses herself to go get a drink. Mika sits down to wait for her, but gets tired all of a sudden and then falls asleep. When she wakes up, she's not sure how long she's been out, and she thinks it's weird that Yukari isn't back yet. So she goes upstairs to find out what happened to her. Yukari is relaxing at the bar and asks Mika if she's ready to go home, and while they're walking out, Mika asks if Yukari had fun tonight, and she says that she did and that they should go again. They bid each other goodnight and Mika heads towards her apartment building. The entire walk home, her ears are still ringing, and even after a good night's rest, the ringing is still there. She talks to Yukari about it, and she suddenly hears Yukari call her an idiot, and she gets offended. But Yukari says that she didn't say that and tells her that the ringing will probably pass in a day or two. Later, she's talking to Miho, and again, like with Yukari, she hears Miho say something offensive to her, and again, Miho has no idea what she's talking about, and asks her if she's alright, and then Mika again hears Miho insult her, and tells her that she will body slam her if she says stuff like that again. Miho tells Mika that she should probably go to the infirmary, but Mika says nah. After class, Miho tells Mika that there is a rumor going on at school that two teachers are hooking up, and that they're apparently going to do it right now during recess. So Mika heads up to Yukari's class to look for her and tell her all about it and get her to go with her to check out if the teachers are really getting it on. Yukari isn't in her class, so Mika heads down to the rumored secret hookup spot herself, and while she's walking around the basement, she hears someone call out to her, but there's just no one there. Freaked out, she continues her search, but then the bell rings and she heads back up to class. During class, she faintly hears music, the same music from last night, and wonders where it's coming from. After class, Miho tells her that there is a rumor going on around school that Chisato is selling poetry books on the street, and Mika heads up to her class to ask her about it. She finds Chisato, and Chisato says that her family is being spied on by a satellite, and that the other day she went to the planet Umno and went swimming, and then Chisato runs off. Mika tries to catch up to her, and while she's searching, she hears that music again. And like before, it's not coming from anywhere. She continues her search, but then the bell rings again. After class, she wakes up back at the club. Oh, it was all a dream. The whole day at school didn't happen. She should have known it was a dream. Yukari would never like her music. Like in the dream, she makes her way back upstairs and tells Yukari that she's sorry, but then she realizes it's not Yukari, it's Miho. Miho asks if she's so sleep deprived that she can't remember that Yukari refused to go with her, and that she ended up asking Miho to come instead. They then head out into the street and bid each other good night, and Mika heads home, and as she's walking, she wonders why Miho was wearing her school uniform. Mika realizes that her ears are still ringing, and that she's thinking and saying all the same things that she said in her dream. And then she wakes up, now back in class. She must have fallen in sleep while in class and dreamt going to the club. Her ears are still ringing though, so she finally decides to go to the infirmary. And on the way there, she repeatedly hears a screeching sound that makes her stop in her track. And on the third time, she even hears a voice. She walks up to a teacher, and she starts spouting gibberish, something about a three-legged man and walking backwards. And then she hears a car horn and a thud, and then someone screaming her name. She then wakes up back at the club. The lights are still on, and the music and the people are gone. She wonders if she brought Miho or Yukari this time, and she walks upstairs to find out. And it turns out neither, because upstairs the silver-haired kid is waiting for her, and he greets her by name. And she wonders how he would know that. He feels familiar, and he asks her if her dreams have been fun. Mika doesn't answer, and instead she asks if he's the one doing it and who he is. He laughs because it took her so long to realize, and says that there is a lot more of that coming, and that he has even more fun things planned for her to experience. The silver-haired boy says that he was a little mean this time around, but next time will be more fun. Not that she will remember, just like she doesn't remember him. Mika asks him what he's going on about and tries to hit him, but she's then frozen in place, and then the boy shoots her with his fingers. She wakes up in a brightly lit room and wonders what the dream was all about and where she is and what day it is, because she can't remember. The next day at school, she walks into class, and Miho says that she found a flyer for a cool event at that club where the two people were burned to death, the Lost Highway. Mika says that of course she'll go, and wonders if Yukari wants to come too. Mika then says that it's Search and Investigation Time, the title of the first two games, and then she goes to find Yukari to see if she's in.